I walked in on my son having sex with my brother's wife. Throwaway. On mobile. I 44 female walked in on my son 18 male having tax with my sister-in-law 34 female brother's wife in a cabin, and I think they have been having tax for a while. My brother 37 male moved in with us in February with his wife and 2 children. My husband 44 male and I a big house on a farm. My husband is a farmer, and with everyone working from home we thought it would be a good chance to stay together as family and for my nieces to spend time on the farm. I have 3 children and all of them live with us. The oldest is 18 male and the other 2 are 16 female and 13 female. On the day my brother arrived I went to buy groceries with my son. And he went to the pharmacy to get his gym supplements and I bought the food. I saw condoms in my son's plastic bag when we arrived at the house, 2 packs with 36 condoms each, so 72 in total. Didn't think anything of it, thought he had gotten a GF and wanted to be safe. Everything was fine, everyone got along. My sil and son would go on an early run around the farm. Everything seemed normal until last month when they left on their run, but I was up baking and I never saw them make any rounds around the farm, which was weird. I asked about it and they said they decided to hit the road. I thought nothing of this, everything seemed normal. My sil and son seemed to have a very good bond. Yesterday I was coming from a friend's house early in the morning. The sun wasn't up yet and it was little dark, but I saw that the cabin we have in the farm was open and the light was on. I thought maybe one of the employees had forgotten to lock up. So I went to close the door and switch off the light. As I got closer I heard people having tax and I took a peek and it was my son and Sil having tax. I didn't confront them, I was so in shock. I still haven't told anyone what I saw and I don't know what to do. Should I confront them? Should I tell my brother? Should I tell my husband? I am so confused. I've been doing a lot of thinking and I am sure they have been having tax for a while. From the condoms my son was always at the house, never brought a GF. The morning runs around the farm, did they really go on a run or do they have tax? The close relationship. Update. I first want to thank everyone for all the advice I got from my original post. I am sorry for not replying to any comments. I think I only replied to 1 comment, my head was all over the place. I'll try to keep this update short. As was suggested by many of the comments, I decided to tell my husband first and proceed from there. My husband lost it, he first thought it was a joke. We talked about the issue and we decided we should first talk to our son before telling my brother. We confronted our son with what I saw. He already knew what was going on as he saw my Reddit post and put 2 and 2 together. He didn't deny anything, he confessed. He told us him and Sil have been having tax since February last year. He was 17 at the time. My son said it started on Sil's birthday party he attended. They got drunk and had tax in a bathroom and they have been meeting at hotels ever since and sneaking off at family gatherings. After my son's confession my husband just lost it and told my son to leave the house and go into our condo in town as he didn't want to see him in front of him at this moment. When my son was gone my husband stormed into my brother's room and told my brother everything. Sil was not in the house at that moment. My brother lost it and packed his stuff, took the kids and left. He asked where my son had gone. He said he wanted to teach him lesson. We didn't tell him and he eventually left. Sil didn't return. I think my brother might have called her or my son warned her and she is afraid to come back. Her things are still in the house. In all the screaming and shouting my daughters heard everything and are devastated that their family might be ruined. They miss their brother and are afraid my husband won't ever let him in the house again. My husband hates all forms of infidelity to the core and has always drilled this in our 2 eldest children that they must never cheat on anyone or be in a relationship with someone in a relationship. I know I did nothing wrong in this, but how will I ever look my brother in the eye again? He won't answer and calls or text. My husband said I should give him time to heal. My son has left the condo because he is afraid of what my brother will do to him and is now hiding at a friend's and he won't tell us which friend. No word on Sil. Info: Sil was the one who initiated tax the first time my son and her slept together. She was the one booking hotel rooms, buying my son dinners and lunches. My son was even receiving an allowance from her. I'm surprised at people's advice to go to your brother first. Talk to your husband first, then your son with your husband, then your brother. Based on those conversations, your husband deserves to know what's happening with his son and you need to protect your kid before your brother's feelings. Your son is way younger than she is and is the least to blame. She could be a predator at worst and completely devoid of character and judgment at best. This is extremely concerning that a 34-year-old woman would be having tax with an 18-year-old. I don't know how you didn't flip the duck out on her when you saw them, because I would have sure. Your son might be a legal adult, but has he ever lived away from home? Had a full-time job? Been in a serious long-term relationship before? He is way too young to understand fully the consequences of his actions and is probably just thrilled that he gets to have tax with this older woman who lives in his own house. I am only 23 and even I would feel weird about getting involved with an 18-year-old. This is especially ducked up if your Sil has been in the family for a while. You need to bring this situation to light immediately and keep her away from your son. Second story. IF19 made out with my best friend M19 in a vulnerable moment and now he's mad at me. What do I do? I first want to thank everyone for all the advice I got from my original post. I am sorry for not replying to any comments. I think I only replied to one comment. My head was all over the place. I'll try to keep this update short. As was suggested by many of the comments, I decided to tell my husband first and proceed from there. My husband lost it. He first thought it was a joke. We talked about the issue and we decided we should first talk to our son before telling my brother. We confronted our son with what I saw. He already knew what was going on as he saw my Reddit post and put 2 and 2 together. He didn't deny anything, he confessed. He told us him and Sil have been having tax since February last year. He was 17 at the time. My son said it started on Sil's birthday party he attended. They got drunk and had tax in a bathroom, and they have been meeting at hotels ever since and sneaking off at family gatherings. After my son's confession, my husband just lost it and told my son to leave the house and go into our condo in town as he didn't want to see him in front of him at this moment. When my son was gone, my husband stormed into my brother's room and told my brother everything. Sil was not in the house at that moment. My brother lost it and packed his stuff, took the kids and left. He asked where my son had gone. He said he wanted to teach him lesson. We didn't tell him and he eventually left. Sil didn't return. I think my brother might have called her or my son warned her and she is afraid to come back. Her things are still in the house. In all the screaming and shouting, my daughters heard everything and are devastated that their family might be ruined. They miss their brother and are afraid my husband won't ever let him in the house again. My husband hates all forms of infidelity to the core and has always drilled this in our 2 eldest children that they must never cheat on anyone or be in a relationship with someone in a relationship. I know I did nothing wrong in this, but how will I ever look my brother in the eye again? He won't answer and calls or text. My husband said I should give him time to heal. My son has left the condo because he is afraid of what my brother will do to him and is now hiding at a friend's, and he won't tell us which friend. No word on Sil. Sil was the one who initiated tax the first time my son and her slept together. She was the one booking hotel rooms, buying my son dinners and lunches. My son was even receiving an allowance from her. Update. Since a ton of you were just so kind and understanding and answered my post, I felt like I needed to update you guys. First, I just want to say thank you to everyone who answered. You're all the sweetest human beings and really helped me understand, reflect on the situation in a fair way. 3. I ended up taking some time to myself to really reflect on what I feel, what I want, and told him that I was just gonna need a day or so. Then, he came over, brought us our favorite ice cream, LOL, apologized and explained himself and his side of the story. He told me that the only reason why he was acting like that was because he was trying to push me away. He told me that he was afraid that it was just something I felt temporarily and was afraid that I made out with him because I felt bad and not because I truly had feelings for him. He explained how since he's not used to opening up and is always the protective one for everyone, he didn't know how to react to me taking care of him and kind of felt like everything was too good to be true. He's so cute, LOL. He told me how this all feels like a dream and that he's waited for this moment for 1.5 years and never thought it would actually happen. I explained how I've had feelings for a while, obviously not as long as he has had feelings for me though, and that I was afraid of acting on them because of fear of ruining our bond, and that I finally felt comfortable opening up about it in that moment because of how emotionally vulnerable and connected I felt to him in the moment. We went into just a really deep, emotional, beautiful and mature discussion about the situation and the way we feel about each other. He told me how even just listening to me talk about something I am excited about assures him how much I mean to him, and just spilled his emotions, all the things I do that he is obsessed with, and I wish I recorded all of it because this boy acts all tough, but I swear he has the most pure soul of the entire world. 3. I feel like we're so used to just always laughing, being dumb and doing fun things when we're together, so it was just so amazing to be able to sit and reflect on how we've grown as best friends over the past 7 years and how we're both ready to take on something new together where our connection becomes deeper than that when we were 12. If you told me that Justin and I would end up together, I'd call you insane, LOL, but here we are. We've honestly seen the other as physically attractive for years before having actual emotional romantic feelings, and now that we have both romantic and physical attraction towards each other, we knew what step we had to take. I feel like as much as we wanted to stay best friends to not ruin our relationship, now we can't even imagine only being best friends because we're far more than that, and someone who feels that emotionally connected and in awe of someone can't just stay friends with them. I can't wait to see where this journey takes us because I just know it's going to be a long, beautiful, indescribable ride. By the way, our parents and friends are so insanely happy, LOL. They're all like, finally, we were waiting for this to happen, haha. I know we just started being in an actual relationship, but it's already amazing. I've learned that sometimes you need to put fears aside and go for it, especially when someone who you care about so deeply is involved. It's literally like we're still the bestest friends ever, but there's even extra things to it that make our bond even better. We've already built such an amazing foundation, bond, communication skills, and openness throughout all the years of being best friends, and as long as we continue to always treat each other that way, We're gonna be more than amazing. We're both just really happy right now, and the wait was worth it because we're 110% sure about the way we feel and just are so grateful for one another. I just wanted to thank everyone for the amazing answers, and so does he. I showed him the post and he kept telling me that everyone who answered is so smart and said I wish I could meet them all and say thank you, lol. We both really appreciate it. You guys really opened my eyes and let me see things from his perspective, and I can't thank you all enough for that. Thank you all for the kind words and advice. You really helped me out a lot. It was so sweet to see how others that you don't even know are willing to help you out. This world is such a beautiful place. I hope you all have an amazing day, and thanks again. 3. Too long didn't read. I am now in a relationship with my favorite person in the whole world. Third story. My F24 boyfriend, 28 of 10 years, has become incredibly secretive of his phone, laptop, social media and car. Me and my boyfriend haven't really had any secrets until very recently. Since we began trusting each other, we had the passwords to each other's phones and social media accounts, and we're very transparent about things that most people keep secret. About 2 months ago, he started not wanting me go to his car without notice beforehand. I brushed this off as him not wanting me to see his dirty car. A few weeks later, I tried to borrow his laptop, which he is normally okay with, and he was livid. He told me I was invading his privacy, which I felt terrible about and apologized. A little while later, he was driving us to the store and he got a text. I picked up his phone so I could read it out to him. He snapped on me the second I grabbed his phone. I again felt really bad and apologized. This week I was thinking about this stuff, and my irrational side got the best of me, and I considered that he could be cheating on me. So I logged on to his Instagram on my phone. I looked through it and saw nothing really out of the ordinary, except that he was following a lot of adult video stars and fitness models. But I couldn't give a duck if he gets off to their Instagrams. I instantly felt awful about this, so I told him what I did. And he told me he was going to change all of his passwords. I asked him why he isn't okay with sharing his secret stuff with me anymore, and he told me he just didn't want to anymore. He very obviously was getting upset by the question. So I decided to probe into it any further. Is this normal behavior for a long-term relationship? Edit: yes. When we became official, he had just turned 18 and I was 14. Update. So I found out he was cheating on me with an underage girl yesterday morning after confronted him and asked flat out if he cheated on me. He admitted that he had received oral from another woman. He said he blocked her on everything, but she kept creating Instagram accounts to contact him. I asked why he hid this, and he said he was ashamed and was looking for the right time to say something. Something in my gut told me he still was lying. So I snuck into his room and stole his phone while he showered. He forgot to take my thumbprint out of his phone. I looked at his most recent texts, and a few hours before he had texted an unnamed number. I told GF I was cheating on her. We might not be able to see each other for a while. If you need me, message me on Insta. I have never been so hurt by anything in my life. I felt my heart drop as I read the text. I looked at past texts and saw pictures of his dick and her body and him saying she looked better than me. I moved on to his Instagram, and like a lot of people said, he had a second one he used to damn women. I found a conversation with a girl he had been talking to that started in August 2019, and suggested he had been ducking her since October 2019. For at least 1 year of our relationship he was unfaithful. I checked the girl's profile to see if she was better looking than me, and saw in her bio the name of a high school near us in CO 2023. My stomach turned and I had to stop myself from throwing up. He was ducking a 15-year-old girl. At that point I had seen enough and decided to leave the apartment. I screenshotted everything and sent it to myself. I went to my friend's place where I showed her everything. I felt so disgusted and guilty. A bunch of the people that commented on my first post spoke about how he groomed me, and I just now am realizing how right they were. If I hadn't let our relationship continue and told the other young girls what he did, it might have stopped him from doing it to other girls. I refuse to look back at his Instagram because I don't want to know how many young girls I helped him either rape or abuse in some way. I feel so gross for defending him. I also feel disgusted by the fact that it's very likely I performed oral tax on him hours after he had slipped his dick into a high schooler. That evening we began the process of reporting him, and hopefully he will be thrown into the jail very soon. I'm going to try to do what I can to right the wrongs I did with this, and am planning to get an STI test and some therapy to get past this and raise my self-esteem again. Thanks for those of you that tried to help me. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.